Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Escaping Success podcast. I am the solo host today, Tom Muffler. And as the year wraps up 2024, I'm going to talk about some things that I like to do when heading into the new year. Me personally, I like to revisit the goals I wrote down back in January, February of this year and kind of see like, okay, do these goals still serve me? Did I accomplish any of these goals? Am I moving towards these goals? That's something that I've been doing now consistently for the last probably 3 years. And the scary thing is, which is kind of a good thing, is at least from my perspective, that when I write down my goals, like I actually, more often than not, achieve them, or I'm taking the necessary steps to reach them without me, honestly, like I consciously think about it, but almost like a subconscious, like putting it out in the universe, manifesting, you could say it, by just writing it out, just really writing down my goals. I'm manifesting in my own way, like the goals to come true. And I think it's a great habit/skill to do. And I personally do it every year. And I've been much more aware too of the cost of reaching goals. I think this is something that's not often spoken, that I think it's great to have great goals and hard goals to reach, but also I'm much more aware of the cost of achieving these goals. So as I look back for this past year, look at my goals, 1, did I reach any? 2, did they serve? If I didn't reach them, do they still serve me? Because I'm not the same person I was a year ago. And I think that's a good thing. I'm always changing, adapting. So looking to see if those goals, 1, still serve me if I didn't hit them. 2, if I did hit any of them, making new ones. And then also realizing the cost of the goal. If I did achieve any of my goals, looking back on like this past year and seeing, okay, this cost me this. Was it worth it? I don't know. So that's something I'm going to do this end of the year. Look at my goals I made back in January, February of this past year, and see if I hit any of my goals, which I personally know I did. And then also goals I didn't hit, do they still serve me? Should I still be working towards them? And the ones I did hit, like, was it worth it? Was the cost of achieving those goals really worth it? And I think that's something that's been interesting for me on my journey of, becoming a better person, as I get older, realizing that, are these goals my actual goals or just goals that parents, society, social media, friends are telling me I should achieve? Are they actually goals that I want to achieve, that serve me and serve my mission, serve my life purpose? I think that's something that's not often spoken about. I think a lot of my own programming, my defaults, like you do things because, it's what you do, you go get a job, you get the job that you're supposed to get. You get the girl or relationship that you're supposed to get. You get the house that you're supposed to get. But are those things really what I want? I don't know. And so that's something I've been exploring more is, questioning where my ideas of what are these goals even coming from? Is it really my own goals or ideas, or is it, some other outside influence? And if it is, I think, is it that outside influence really worth dictating my life? I think that's kind of an interesting thing to think about. Is like you're going to put all this effort, time, and energy into a goal that's not even really your goal. That's kind of a weird thing to think about, but I think a lot of people, myself included, I had goals that, they weren't really my own goals. They were just what I thought you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do this, supposed to do that. And when I achieved them, I wasn't fulfilled in the past. And that's an awful place to be. Honestly, it's awful to work so hard and make these goals and, I'll be happy when all that BS I told myself, but realizing like it's the journey. It always is the journey, because even if you do, hypothetical situation, I have a goal, I want to, make $100 million. Okay. So I button down for the next 5-10 years, work to make $100 million. I don't have any friends, I don't have any relationships, I don't have my health. All I do is work. Boom. Wake up 10 years later, I'm 39 years old, got $100 million, but I have no friends. My family doesn't really talk to me anymore. My health is gone, and I have no one to share this with. So in that situation, was the goal really worth it? Again, I don't know, for some people it'll be like, yeah, F yeah, I'll take that money. And that, hey, that's the thing. I realize like I'm in no place to tell anyone what to do. And I think too often people feel like they should tell people how to live their lives and do certain things. And I don't think that's true at all. Like, because I think how I live, I don't expect anyone to live, and I don't want anyone to live like how I live. You know, I don't think that's fair to say do this, but if someone asks me like, hey Tom, you know, I want to get in good shape and I want to, you know, do this, or I'm thinking about starting a business and doing this, like, hey, you're advising this? Of course I'll chime in and, you know, give them a point in the right direction, give some helpful hints, but I'm not going to see somebody who, you know, is working a job that they hate or, you know, not really applying themselves and be like, you should be doing this. Who am I to say? You know, hey, it's their life. I'm going to do my life. So I'm always in the camp of, like, it's why goals, I think it's important to look at your goals and be like, are these actually my goals? Are these someone, family, friends, society's goals? You know, whose goals are they? If they're yours, that's great. If they're not, think about it. You know, do they really serve you? Is the cost of achieving that goal going to be worth it if they're not really even your goals? I think that's not too often spoken about, just you expect big things. But then also on the contrary, if you have no goals and you have no direction, that's not good either. So I think it's good if you're like, I don't even have goals, I'm not even sure where to get goals. I'm like, okay, maybe you should then listen to, get some like a mentor or somebody in your life that like you respect or is doing well, quote unquote, and ask them like, hey, like, help me out. Like, what do you think I should be doing? And I'd be like, oh, like maybe you should aim to save this much money, or try to start your own business, or, you know, work out this many times a week, you know? It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And also I realize goals don't have to be, from my perspective, purely like surface, in the sense of physical, like tangible, if that makes sense. Like a money number, a business number, a physical number. It could be internal. It could be, you know, for me, like a big goal is like have a good relationship with a higher power, with God. You know, that's something I've been working on, and like a more internal spiritual goal. Or something I really worked on is like my relationships, like my friendships. You know, I was intentional about that 2 years ago, and now I have, you know, the best friendships I've always dreamed of, like back in high school and college. So it doesn't have to be purely a fiscal like number goal. I mean, so much of our society in the United States is all about money, business, revenue number, profit margins, this much saved, this net worth, all that stuff. And trust me, it's great. I think you should be doing all that. Money is freedom, money is power, go. But also, there's other things to think about. So as this end of this year approaches, when we like look into our goals, one, I think my perspective is I'm definitely going to set goals, because I think when I have goals, I consciously and unconsciously work towards them. It's kind of cool, like I'm manifesting in some way. And also I'm going to analyze my goals and like kind of think about like, okay, like, is this what I want, or is this just something that, you know, family, friends, society told me I want? And then also contemplating the cost. Like, okay, what would it really cost me to get this goal? Is that cost worth it? Is that goal really worth that cost, that price? I don't know. So everyone out there, hope you had a great holiday. Merry Christmas.